please no.
We could, though.
I hope not.
Be great if they played her on here.
No, she should not be on loud.
All right. Today we saw The Disaster Artist.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's an interesting history of this with me. Now, I've never watched the entire movie of The Room. I didn't know who Tommy Wiseau was until Red Letter Media introduced me to Tommy Wiseau through their videos and their discussions. Then I saw, like, the best moments of The Room on YouTube, which was followed by the Everything Wrong with The Room, which I think is 23 minutes long. I met Yvonne a while after. And I wasn't very long after we started dating that I made you watch scenes from The Room.
Yeah.
I made you watch the Everything Wrong with video about The Room.
Yeah.
And I'm really quite vocal about how much I think it's just brilliantly bad.
Right. Because you like bad movies.
The Room is the perfect bad movie. The perfect bad movie is one that when the director's making it, he thinks is really good.
Right.
A good bad movie isn't one that winks at the camera and goes, oh, this is a bad movie. Look, that was funny because it's bad. They're not. And I'm talking about, like, haunted house movies, the stupid, the ripoff of Scream, Scary Movie.
Oh,
the
right.
first Scary Movie was okay, and then everything after that was a steaming pile of crap. And for the most part, the whole genre of spoofing movies is garbage. Airplane was good, and most of the rest of what's come out of Hollywood's been hot garbage. And B movies are much the same way. When you have a Tommy Wiseau, who we don't know where he comes from, we don't know how old he is, we don't know anything about him, which was one of the criticisms. I had to laugh. I looked at the reviews. There was a review that says, we don't know who Tommy Wiseau is, and this movie would have been better if it had got into his background and who he is and where he's from. And I thought, no, it wouldn't have.
No.
Because
that was kind of one of the
he could have become a tragic figure if we'd known. The mystery is kind of what makes Tommy Wiseau work. And there's discomfort in some of the scenes in this movie where James Franco as Tommy Wiseau is very convincing in how delusional he is.
Yeah.
And there's a creepy aspect of Johnny/Tommy, and they're the same person. Like, when he's Johnny in the movie, he's still Tommy Wiseau.
Yes. He talks the same.
Yeah. And the greatest line, and we can't do it, is when he's doing a tryout, he's trying to get a part, and they say, can you do it without the accent?
That was so funny.
And he says, what accent? And they're like, we don't know what accent that is.
Just like with an American
Where are you from? And he says, New Orleans. And he says it in a way you don't understand it.
Huh?
And then he tries to say it without an accent. He tries to do the lines without an accent. And it's so funny.
It's like losing all enunciation.
And you feel
really funny. Like you sound super drunk.
It's hilarious, and yet you feel bad for Tommy at the same time. You know, it's sort of like when somebody thinks they can sing. And they're like, I do this really good version of Celine Dion. And you're like, oh, really? Okay, cool. Can I sing for you? Yeah. And then within 3 notes, you know they can't sing for crap.
Did I ever tell you about that girl I went to school with? She stayed at my house for a little bit, and she thought she was like the best singer ever. And she would always sing along to all music. But we would drive in the car. She would ask us to turn off the radio so she could sing. Oh. It was so weird.
See, and that's uncomfortable.
Yes.
Because you can't tell them.
Right. She wanted us to turn off the radio. Not so she could sing along or, because that's what most people do. If you can't sing, even if you think you can, you sing along to the radio.
I know I can't sing.
She wanted us to turn off the music so that she could sing.
I know I can't sing for crap. I know I can act. I'm absolutely well aware. I did drama all the way through high school. I know I'm good at it. I've been able to memorize monologues. I've been able to perform at various plays, and I know I can act. But for Tommy, he really can't.
No.
But it's kind of fun. Like I came across a trailer for a new movie of him and Greg, and I have to see it. It looks really bad. But he's Tommy. And the trailer's just clear. He's wearing his regular clothes. He's still got the hair. And he's still just, whatever, yeah. And like, he can't be bothered. He's either just, or he's over the top. Like, there's no in between.
No.
What a story, Mark. And it's like, that's awful. You can't. And I have to say, I'm normally aggravated by Seth Rogen. I'm over Seth Rogen in most movies. I am so sick of dope humor. I am so tired of, I get it, you smoke dope all the time, shut up and move on. But in this movie, Seth Rogen is hilarious. There's a scene where he takes his check
Oh yeah,
into the bank, and he's just like, it's gonna bounce. And they're like, here you go. You want that in 20s? He's like,
wait, it worked?
It cleared? Like, oh yeah, this account's a bottomless pit. And just the look on his face, like, all right. So from there on, anytime Tommy wants whatever weird crap, he's just like, all right, we'll do this. Because Tommy's just, apparently this movie cost over $6 million. Oh God. I don't know how you can spend.
He bought the equipment
but
instead
again,
of renting it.
Yeah,
that would
buying
be
the
a
equipment,
lot of money.
it's probably $100 grand.
Both cameras.
He did both video and HD, which is crazy. Just do HD and just forget. But no, he's like, I'll buy it. I'll get both. Sure. Yeah. And he's just so casual about, like, yeah, it's going to cost a lot of money. Okay. And I totally bought James Franco. This was probably his best role. The only part that kind of lost me a little bit, when they have the premiere of the movie at the end, and they show the entire audience roaring with laughter, and I thought it probably wasn't like that.
Right.
It was probably some in the audience were laughing. But when it's a bad movie, I've never actually been in a theater where when it's a bad movie, everybody's laughing at it.
But if
you'll have some.
See, what I'm thinking, though, if it's that over the top, just bad, ridiculous, and everybody's feeding off of each other.
Like.
So I think once they got to that sex scene, it just kind of went, holy crap, what is this? And then they feed off of each other.
There's a sex scene in the movie, and
yeah, I would think that
when the crowd's in the theater and they all go, oh, there's a collective no. Oh no.
We don't need to see that. It's not that kind of movie.
It's funny because when they show them filming this part, she said the exact thing. Oh, no.
It was funny. Isn't he a little bit high? What is he doing to her belly button?
And it's funny, too, because James Franco isn't a bad-looking guy on his own. But when he's in full Tommy, you're still like, no, because he's in Tommy Wiseau mode, which shows just how well he plays it. Yeah, he plays it so... And they show... At the end of this, they show scenes which they filmed from the actual movie.
Side by side.
Side by side with the new version from the movie. And the original and the new movie sync up almost perfectly. And everything's perfect. The only actress or actor that I think they got a little bit off was the one that played Amy. But again, it might be hard to find somebody exactly like the original.
Who?
Lisa.
Okay, Lisa.
Because she was... But again, Lisa wasn't a major character. Like when they were doing the part where they were doing the readings and the actresses were in there, it looked like she had a wig on for that.
Yes.
To look like the original Lisa. And then in the subsequent scenes, it looked different.
Yeah.
Her hair didn't seem to match up with the original.
There were some bad wigs in that movie.
Oh, Denny.
That was horrible. That looked awful.
Danny's wig was terrible. But if you notice the side by side, the hair on the actor that was original Danny was just awful too.
Yes, true.
And there's no way that any actor on planet Earth would say, I'm going to do my hair like that for this movie. Yeah. They'd be like, get me a wig. I'm not doing that. It's not happening. There's not enough money in the world for me to look like that. Cut. It was awful.
Yeah.
But I can honestly say this was one of the best movies I've seen. I will absolutely buy it on DVD. I will torture her with this repeatedly. I will watch anything Tommy Wiseau's in. If I ever had an opportunity to interview him, it would be fascinating.
Oh, goodness.
I'd hang out with him.
Oh, goodness.
I'd get in a car with him. And it would probably be the most fascinating trip of my entire life.
He's such an odd guy. Like, I really think like I was saying,
but he's not dangerous odd.
No.
Oh, no, there is something mental over there.
There's some mental problems. Yes. He seems mildly...
Yes. No. There's something there mentally that's a little off. but he's not dangerous.
No, but he doesn't notice when people are even just thinking, oh, okay.
Like when he
doesn't even
dances
notice
in
that.
the bar, he genuinely thinks he's the greatest.
Right. He doesn't
And
notice when other
and
people
when Greg's
are...
not watching him dance and instead's trying to pick up the hot bartender,
Right,
he's insulted. Which is just, they do portray Tommy as kind of petulant, kind of like a kid.
Yes.
I must be the center of attention. If I'm not, I'm just going to pout and go home. He reminded me of Sheldon from Big Bang Theory if Sheldon had had a head injury.
No, because he had... he was social.
Like, there's the part where Greg says, my girlfriend and I want to move in together. And he's like, well, I don't think I have room at the apartment for 3 people.
Right.
And it's
Yeah.
just, and I thought that sounds really like Sheldon on Big Bang Theory. He would assume they're moving in with me, not they're going to have their own life.
Right.
And there's something there in his relationship with Greg that's really cool. And it's real. Like, you see them in interviews now and they're still friends now. There's something there that's really cool, and he needs Greg. Greg doesn't need Tommy, but Tommy needs Greg, and I think Greg realized that by the end of this movie. The characters seemed to get it. Tommy needed him.
Yeah.
And his life wasn't any better after he stopped hanging around with Tommy. He still wasn't getting acting roles. The girlfriend had dumped him.
Right.
So it didn't get any better.
Right.
So you might as well hang out with Tommy and have a friend.
Right.
So highly recommend. On a scale of 1 to 10, I can't find a fault in this one.
I thought it started slow.
To me, it's a 10.
I wouldn't... to me, it started slow. There were funny parts. Like once...
Like when he's climbing the wall
that was
and acting
funny.
and
Yeah.
yelling Stella
And him
over and
how he's,
over.
Stella! And they're like, okay.
And then he didn't know who James Dean was.
Right, that was so... I miss Dean.
Yeah, and then as
What?
soon as
You
it's
just heard of him
explained
today.
to him who James Dean is, he's like, oh, I miss him. He's so great. And it's like, no, you don't.
Yeah, that was weird. And then when he is moving, they're moving the mom.
Oh, the mom.
She's crazy.
Yeah. We haven't driven away yet.
That was funny.
See, and I had my friend Matt that did that with my dad. But he waited till we were out of the house. Said, I hate your dad. Waited until we were out of the house before he said, I hate your dad. And then I said, okay, why? Because I knew reasons. I just want to know what his reasons were. Then he gave his reasons, and I'm like, those are very good reasons. Let's go out and hang out. Matt became my best friend on the spot. So I can kind of identify with that. The mother was funny. I kind of wish there'd been more scenes with the mom, but I know there wasn't room for it. The storyline
Right.
wasn't conducive to going back to the mother. When they were going back to San Francisco in that one part, I thought maybe the mother was going to come back in.
Right.
You know, that maybe he was going to try to win the mother over to win Greg over again or something.
Right.
But they just threw the ball around and yelled at each other.
So weird.
He can't throw a football. That's the funniest part.
No.
That was the funniest
No.
part.
I'm pretty sure
I like football, and
he goes winds up to kick it.
and then Greg throws at him. He's like, "Well, that's with the trick shot. Like the trick shot, he threw the ball at you. A trick shot. There's no trick to it." But yeah, that was a great. Okay, so scale of 1 to 10.
6.
No.
It wasn't your opinion of my grading.
But it's a great movie.
Okay.
It should win an Oscar. Are you kidding me? James Franco absolutely nailed Best Actor.
Okay, it was really funny in parts, and it was interesting, but it started really slow.
You're tearing me apart, Yvonne.
Yeah, there were some weird parts. It was interesting. I mean, it was entertaining, and I liked the movie overall. I'm sure, and I was watching the movie, and I was thinking, I'm pretty sure this is more entertaining to watch than watching the actual movie that this movie is about.
We're going to test that when I buy it.
Oh.
The part with is he having sex with a belly button? That's part of everything wrong with, too, because there's another sex scene in the movie where it looks like he's having sex with her hip, because he's off to the side and she's facing another direction.
Maybe he doesn't know how that works.
He may not.
I know that's kind of
He
what I was
may
thinking
not
in the movie,
have
that
any
he might
idea.
really not
He
know.
may never have had a girlfriend.
His idea of sex could be movies.
Like, he may have no idea.
That's very true.
because they don't get into that, which is fine. I think Tommy's better as a mystery figure. Fun movie. Her rating's wrong. My rating is closer to reality. You can average them out to an 8. If it's within 20 miles of where you're at, 40 clicks of where you're at, go see it. We drove about 20 miles to go see it today.
Yeah, they didn't have it at 3 of the
No,
theaters near us.
they didn't have it in Abbotsford or Chilliwack.
Or Mission.
I would imagine it'll eventually see itself to the $2 theater in Chilliwack. This is the
Maybe.
artsy fartsy kind of thing that they'll have at the cheap theater in
Maybe.
Chilliwack.
Yeah, they do have a lot of different movies.
Fartsy. Very fartsy. This is a fartsy movie more than artsy. A lot of fartsy to it. It's really great. James Franco has got to win Best Actor. And Alison Brie as supporting actress. She looked gorgeous in this movie, so you could give her a nomination for that. And it's fun because there's Franco and his brother on screen together, and there's Franco's girlfriend. Like, this had to be so much fun for them. And, scene stealing. I have to say for scene stealing, Zac Efron is in one scene in this movie, and he hits it out of the park.
There were
it was
a
the
lot of little
Zac
cameos.
Efron's cameo was the funniest moment in the movie. Because
there were a lot of cameos in this movie.
oh, he's intense. He's a monster.
Yeah.
And action.
Yes, that was funny.
And the actor playing Danny just looks terrified. And it's just, and if you watch when we watch the actual movie, you'll see, like, that scene looks really uncomfortable because it looks like he's really beat the crap out of Danny. Like, and yeah, the way that's shown on the screen, it looks like, yeah, he really gave him a little bit of a scare. Kid might have peed himself just a little. It was really funny. So if you want to see somebody almost pee themselves, this is the movie for you. If you want to see Tommy Wiseau acting with whatever accent that is, this is the movie for you.
Try it without an accent.
If you haven't seen The Room, I haven't seen the whole movie myself, but I've seen so many of the highlights so many times. It's one of those things where if I'm having a bad day, I just load up Tommy Wiseau clips and I feel better. There's a mashup on YouTube of Tommy Wiseau and Star Wars where they've just used Tommy Wiseau's voice for Darth Vader. The first video is fantastic. It peters out kind of fast after that. They tried to capitalize on it, and subsequent ones aren't as funny, but the first one is awesome. Tommy Wiseau, especially where they substitute him for Obi-Wan Kenobi in Revenge of the Sith, is amazing. It is just great. I highly recommend that. And when they show Mark Hamill getting hit in the head with a football. Oh, hi, Mark. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
That was funny part of the movie, too, filming that scene.
Oh.
What's my line?
God, he just couldn't get it.
What's my line?
And it's funny, it reminds me of Winnebago Man, in that he couldn't remember the lines, and he wrote them. It's really funny to me when somebody can't remember the lines they wrote. I can't imagine that. I can't imagine writing a script and then going, I don't remember what the line is here. I'd have it memorized. When I was in plays, I would memorize everybody's part.
You have a ridiculous memory, though.
If I'm on stage, I want to know their lines because I don't want to get stuck because they forget.
But you have a ridiculous memory.
So somebody on stage would forget.
Most people don't remember things like you do.
It enraged me in high school.
Yeah. Your memory is ridiculous.
Because it's like you can't bother to memorize your lines. I memorize your lines for you, and I memorize my own. I win.
Shannon, no. You have an unfair advantage.
I kind of still remember that big monologue I had, too, with Michael Marston. I'm sure you do,
because you remember random crap like that.
Because I was a guy in jail.
Insane memory.
I was a guy who was in jail and had been in jail for a long time. I was being released. So I could go out into the world, and I could see my wife and my mistress and my business partner, and they'd all forget me and treat me like crap when I got out. So it ends with me beating on the doors to get back into the jail, because life was better in jail when you could fantasize about how life was. Everybody was really quiet, too, because they let me swear. I was the one that would get the parts where I was allowed to swear, because I could really belt it out there, and everybody like, he swore. Because, high school. I'm not supposed to swear in high school. I did. They might not have expected it from me because I was a nerd boy. So then maybe they didn't expect it from me. It was fun, though. And I feel like Tommy Wiseau thinks that's what he does. I think Tommy Wiseau really in his mind believes he's a genius.
Yes.
He's this master thespian. He has this great inner actor, and he is able to describe the human condition better than the rest of us.
Yes.
He's fantastic. And for that reason, for that delusion, this movie's a 10. Ty Dillinger would call it a 10. So would I. She's down 2-1. You're sure I can't talk you above a 6?
No, I really don't think so.
Okay. That's 3 out of 5 stars, though. That's still a pass. That's still a recommendation from a girl to watch a Tommy Wiseau movie.
From a girl? What's that supposed to mean?
Tommy Wiseau, the way that The Room is presented is normally guys that watch it and guys that enjoy it. It's normally considered a guy thing. The bad movies, the B-movie genre, that whole thing, it's normally guys at a party that enjoy this. Girls usually think we're stupid.
I used to watch stupid movies with my friends in high school, though.
Then you were in the minority and we would have hung out in high school.
When you were in high school or when I was in high school?
Well, see, when I was in high school,
it would have been weird.
That would have been weird, and when you were in high school, it might have been mildly illegal.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and your mother would not have approved.
No, she would not.
What if I asked your mother's permission, though? I could have Roy Moored that and made it so it was okay.
No.
No, it would have been all right.
No.
I was never banned from a mall.
What mother says okay to that?
Well, he's the DA, so, I wasn't the DA, though. I worked at the duck farm, so I don't think that would have been popular. What do? I eviscerate ducks for a living. Oh, well, out you go. See you later. I like Tool, too.
See, that would have been awesome, because I didn't know any boys that liked Tool. I didn't really know girls that liked Tool either, so...
Yeah, my ex wasn't a fan.
I knew one girl that liked Korn.
My kids liked Tool because
weird.
they were indoctrinated with it from when they were little.
Right.
So it was either like Tool and Rammstein or good luck enjoying your childhood because that's all you're going to hear out of my speakers.
Yeah.
And Tommy Wiseau.
Favorite was Disturbed.
When I found Tommy Wiseau movies, my kids knew about The Room. They knew. I was like, this is so bad, you've got to see this. Especially, you're tearing me apart, Lisa! I'm not going to try it, because I could really scream it, but then I'd wake the kids up.
Yeah,
like they're asleep.
Haven't you heard them? I can hear them up there.
Okay, I'd bring the kids downstairs. I don't want to do that.
No.
They'd be like, who's Lisa?
They're supposed to be pretending they're asleep right now.
Okay. All right, so that's it for us. If you've seen the movie, let me know what you think in the comment section below. Go see it. Go see it. The Disaster Artist. Fan-flipping-tastic. Give that man an Oscar. James Franco. Absolutely fantastic. And give Zac Efron something, too, for what he did. Give him, like, some extra candy or a couple extra $100. I don't know if Zac Efron's got very much money. I'm hoping that kid makes something of himself. I mean, I know he had that High School Musical thing, but I don't think he's done anything since then.
I have no idea.
I know. She really doesn't have any idea. That's what makes this funny. All right. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you again soon.